incorporated into the body of music that we're dealing with, and you've done it so well. I think, why don't you rap to people about that?
Run up and get touched up. And all of y'all know my style.
So what are they doing, Doc? Having an epileptic fit over there?
No, I'm enjoying the only art form that my generation has offered.
It's hip-hop, Bobby. You don't know nothing about it. Turn that beat up, because Bobby don't like it.
Turn that beat up, because Bobby don't like it.
Okay, turn that beat up, because Bobby don't understand it.
Turn that beat up, because Bobby don't understand it. Uncle Bobby, smoke a fatty and listen now.
Woo! Zoa Mornings! Back in the building. Don't you turn it down. I see you. Trying to ease it down.
Don't
Leave
you
it up.
touch now.
Now. Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building Monday, July the 14th. You know we got other topics. The topics are crazy. But before we get to the topics, I got to promote. The first thing I'm going to promote is my uncle.
Yeah.
Bobby Glanton-Smith. Real Men Don't Play.
Good book, bro.
That's the name of the website. That's the name of the book. Support the brother because he's got a collection of concepts and ideas, especially if they relate to what we're talking about today.
Okay.
So you got to get this as a manual for manhood. How about it?
I dig that.
You like that, Bobby?
That's a good hook.
Manual for Manhood.
That's a good hook.
By Bobby Glanton-Smith. Real Men Don't Play. You can get it at realmendon'tplay.com. Go support Bobby Glanton-Smith. Very, very, very important. Another book I want you guys to support, of course, is Dr. Mark Goulston's Just Listen. This is the book that I first met the doc on, and I'm telling you, it's an incredible book. Jeff reads it. I've read it.
Yeah.
It has a lot of tips and tools, and I'm telling you, the number one thing you need in a relationship for it to be successful is conflict resolution skills, right? This is a book that has tips and tools on how to refine your ability to communicate. And I think, communication is such a, our communication IQ is kind of low in most relationships. So this is a book that you got to get. Just Listen by Mark Goulston. Don't play yourself. Go get it right now. Very important book. Also, hey, you got a picture of the cover of my book? I'd like for you to pull it up right now. This is how you get my book. This is the cover of it. The Rebirth of Seeds. A lot of people have been trying to support me, and I really appreciate everything everyone has been doing. Please, please, please go to my website. IamZoWilliams.com. Once again, that's IamZoWilliams.com. Please support my work. Go get my book. I'll sign it, the whole 9 yards. Now that that's done, on to community empowerment. We got books. Now it's time for community empowerment. I need you guys to go support. I'm rocking another one. A Ramo Mart shirt. The brother is very talented. Please continue to support him. There are a lot of people out there who have supported the brother, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all of your support. And a lot of people are starting to post pictures on Facebook and Instagram of them actually wearing their shirts. They're getting their shirts and they're wearing them. So thank you for hanging in there with the brother and supporting the brother. He's only 28 years old. He's learning the business. He's at 28, right? Isn't that incredible? He's learning how to be a businessman, and everybody out there who has supported him, listen, I don't get a dime. I don't get nothing from it. But what I do get is the satisfaction that black people can coalesce around a cause and build up somebody who's learning. So I appreciate everybody for supporting him. RamoMart.com is the website. If you like the shirt, go support the brother. Yes, Coalesce.
I got an auntie named Coalesce.
No, you don't have an aunt. Anyway, VeronicaConway.com. She's going to be a guest on the show today. Very, very intelligent, enlightening young lady. Educated at Cal Berkeley. VeronicaConway.com. She is a transformational coach. Business, relationships, interpersonal difficulties. She's one of the coldest in the game. Like I said, she runs with the likes of Tony Robbins, the whole 9 yards. Please support Veronica Conway at VeronicaConway.com. Another one of her endeavors is blackmastery.com. I'm telling you, I listen to this thing every night. It has changed my life. I make my son listen to it. It has changed his life. I mean, he's working like a grown-ass man right now. You know, I'm very pleased with his, you know, his development and what's happening with him. Blackmastery.com, a neurolinguistic program that was created by Veronica Conway. It's narrated or moderated by Iyanla Van Zant. And when I tell you it undoes limiting beliefs, it undoes limiting thought processes, this is something that you can't pass up on. If you can pay $200 for a pair of Jordans, you definitely can purchase this. You understand what I'm saying? If we can kill each other over Jordans, we can definitely go buy blackmastery.com, because I want to see black people change. And the reason why I support Black Mastery so tough is because this forum right here is about rewriting the weak, limited, damaged, outdated, antiquated software that's running on our minds, right? I'm going to talk to the doc about this in a moment. Transactional psychology. A lot of people have either a winner script or a loser script playing in their mind, right? Transactional psychology. This neurolinguistic program is trying to delete the loser script from your mind. That's why it's very important that you support blackmastery.com.
Mental malware.
Man, go there right now. It's very important that you do that. Hip Loose. Man, listen, next weekend, right? If you're in Arizona, Zoe Williams will be in Arizona doing a relationship roundtable. I'm on a panel with a group of cats. I'm going to be dipped in ice cream when I rock that damn Hip Loose suit that they designed for me. Wow. Listen, if you want a suit tailor-made to your body specification, finest material, bespoke, everything, listen, go to hiploose.com and support another black-owned business. Pharaonic Designs. Hey, if you can't afford the homie at Ramo Mart, go support the homie at Pharaonic Designs. He sent me a couple of his shirts. I wear them all the time. Nice quality, you know, beautiful stuff. I love it. I support him. Man, go get at him. He does great work, great customer service, locked into the community, good brother. Support his business, man.
Look like an Earth, Wind, and Fire roadie.
Pharaonic Designs. I love his stuff. Easy Boy Web. Hey, you need a website? You need logo designs? You need websites that integrate social media and things of that nature? Go support the movement. And also follow my homeboy at PaisleyDarts.com. PaisleyDarts.com, or follow the brother, because he's a tattoo artist out of Pittsburgh. I'll support anybody. He's a tattoo artist out of Pittsburgh. You can follow this brother at Studio 7 on Instagram.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, support this brother, man. He's incredible, man. Hey, anybody who got a business, I'll support you. It's just that simple. Anybody who has a business, I'll support you. Zoe Williams at TradioV. That's radio in TV, the Zoe What Morning Show. We're coming to the end of the community empowerment. We're going to take a quick break. When I come back, wait, I want you to leave with Black Mastery. Don't play yourself. Go to blackmastery.com. We'll be back at 2.2. Topics, questions, Zoe What Mornings. We'll be back. Holla!
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre, and it didn't have to be that way. The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about what's important to the other person. But what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life? When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen. I asked my wife a month ago, I said, I don't know whether to have an affair or buy a motorcycle. And she said, if you have an affair, I'll kill you. If you get the motorcycle, you'll kill yourself. Go with the bike. So anybody out there have to deal with difficult people? Are you the difficult person? Well, what all difficult people have in common is they overwhelm us, and just when we want to get away, they grab us to keep from leaving. So you just can't win with them. So they overwhelm us.
Youch!
And then just when you say, I've had enough, they grab you to pull you back in, and they make you kind of crazy. Now, here's the key to dealing with difficult people. It's kind of the tip that you use sometimes when a dog's grabbed your arm. You know, when a dog's grabbed your arm, one of the things you do is you push your arm into its throat, and it will release. Because it can't, what it wants to do when it grabs your arm is swallow, and when you push it in there, it will release, and in a second you can pull your arm out. Whereas if you try and pull your arm out, at the same time, they're just going to sink their teeth into it. And difficult people are like that. So what you want to do is you want to lean into their craziness and their overwhelmed thing. And this won't be easy, but imagine when they're being difficult, if you're with them or you're on the phone, that you're leaning into the eye of the hurricane. You're not letting the winds blow you over. And so whatever they're saying, as soon as you want to pull away and they dig their teeth in more, what you really want to do is lean in and pick one of the words they said that has a lot of emotional spin on it, even if it's aimed at you. You're an idiot. You're a loser. Whatever. Pause, and they'll pause to reload, and they're going to expect you to get defensive. And if you were to lean in and say more about how I'm an idiot, but don't say it to provoke them. And what'll happen is they'll just start gagging because they don't expect you to go in and ask for more. It's a little bit like the Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope. And if you do that, what'll happen is you watch them and they get so discombobulated. And if you said something like that, if someone said, you are the worst husband, boyfriend, you're just a loser, if you can pause, look into the eye of that hurricane and say, hey, this is big time important to you. Say more about big time loser, and you just watch them to go, oh. And then you can have some fun with them a little bit, because instead of feeling provoked, you feel centered, and they go, well, I don't know. You can say, no, come on, this is important. Let's get it out now. Let's get it all out so we don't have to revisit it. And what happens is you go from being provoked to totally centered and in control. It'll change your life.
Wow, I like that. I like that, because I think the doc is saying the person might be saying something to you just to get a rise out of you. You take the rise away,
take the bullets out of the
and then you say more. Go deeper into that.
Yeah, one of the things that men don't get about women, an emotional thing, and although men are very emotional too, but one of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. Men will often try to clear their mind before they speak, because if you say the wrong thing to the wrong man, he's going to pull out a gun and shoot you. So we already know that you don't want to provoke a man. But women, up until recently, weren't afraid of what they said. So what they're doing, it's like they're getting stuff off their chest so they can clear their head. And the more they aim it at you, the more they have to get stuff off their chest. You know.
Well, with that said, today's topic. The doc always alley-oops us perfectly. Today's topic: BitchAssNess versus BitchCraft. The science of unnecessarily ornery, mean, single, lonely, weak men and women.
They call it BitchCraft.
BitchCraft for women, BitchAssNess for men. On today's So What Morning Show. Get to your phone lines right now, 855-878-4652. Follow us on Twitter, @TradioV, or personally, @Zoe Williams. Hit us your questions and responses. We want to know what you think right now. And I will be picking people who said some pretty profound things and sharing it on air. Are you dating a bitch? How do you maintain and cope with that? Are you dating a bitch-ass nigga? That goes for all races here. There's bitch-ass niggas in every race. How do you deal with a bitch-made man? Somebody call us, 855-878-4652. Questions. True or false? Regarding intimate relationships, women start to trip, meaning behave badly or poorly or become bitches, only when men's shit ain't together. If a man isn't what a man is, does that create the room that allows her to become even more bitchy? 855-878-4652. That's the number to dial. Can a boss bitch, because that's their term nowadays. I'm a boss bitch, right? Can a boss bitch be an excellent wife and helpmate at the same time?
How?
Just let me ask the questions, Bobby. What's the difference between bitches and bullies? And we're talking about male bitches too, because men can be bitches too, right?
See.
Right. Okay, there it is. Who's responsible for the rise of the boss bitch? Is it the better education? Is it better employment? Is it feminist ideas? Is it VH1 programming? The rising tide of weak men, or all of the above? 855-878-4652. I got questions. Is the environment of corporate America a perfect breeding ground for bitch-assness in males and BitchCraft in females? How does corporate America's effect create a plethora of bitch-made men and BitchCraft, the secret craft of witchery among women? Is it creating covens? I don't know. Somebody call us at 855-878-4652. This is crazy. I have one more question, and then I'm going to just open it up to the panels. Now, you heard the saying, nice guys finish last.
In the race to be first.
Exactly. Do asshole men, right, finish first? Do bitches finish first? Right? Seems like if you just miss the nice guy, most people take advantage of that. Niceness, politeness, and all of that. Maybe corporate America's competitive nature is a perfect breeding ground for bitchiness, bad attitudes. Somebody call us, the panel is open. Let's get into bitchiness, bitch-assness in men, right? Let's talk about it. Jeff Brown, I see you taking notes. Bobby, you're taking notes, and so is the doctor. I'm going to volley it out there to Jeff. Set us up, Jeff.
Well, I got mine numbered 1 to 5, but in my cannabinoid-induced haze, I lost track of the questions. But I'll just give my answer out. One, the answer to one is that one has nothing to do with the other. Okay, how I act has nothing to do with how you act, unless I'm aiming a gun at you and you duck. It's what I do. It's impossible for me to make a woman a bitch. That's her response. Her response is on her. So if you're dealing with a bitch, you're dealing with a bitch. The question number 2, is it possible for a bitch to be, or a boss bitch to be a great wife? Absolutely. To Crazy Charles. Crazy Charles, that's what I like to call that dude that'll whoop your ass in front of your daddy. Crazy Charles, yeah, because Crazy Charles not having it. She a bitch to everybody else, but she ain't messing with Crazy Charles. Because when Charles get here, Charles will stomp her ears together. Now, do you really want to live in that? That's the and they can make that environment work. Personally, I can't. I can't. You supposed to make peace. That's a job. That's my wife's 2 jobs: help get toward my goal and make peace. And bitches don't want to do neither one of them.
Wow. So you're saying bitches are peace terrorists?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no, I was married to a peace terrorist. Okay, what she would do is hold peace hostage until each and every one of her demands were met. And if not, there would be no peace. Matter of fact, if I don't get what I want by 12 o'clock, I'm going to kill the peace. Ain't going to be no peace in here.
Wow. Dr. G?
Rise of the boss bitches. I think there's an increased number, and here's the sequence.
I just love
like
the
a
way
60s movie.
Rise of the Boss Bitches. Written by Mark Goulston.
Rise of the Boss Bitches.
Directed by Michael Mann.
Fuck you! Who's that in your cards? My mom's.
Co-starring the incredible shrinking Weenie Man. But here's the vicious cycle. When women see that they can't rely on men, and men don't follow through, they get more and more frustrated. And when they get really frustrated, what goes on inside these weenie men is the desire to kill the woman. But they can't do that because that kind of goes against the code. And so what you do is, instead of putting their head through the wall, you go and you make it with another woman who treats you better. And so add to the list that not only can she rely on you for following through, but you're cheating on her. Welcome to contemporary relationships.
Wow.
Well,
Scary thought.
That's scary thought. Let Bobby get a piece, and then back to you,
Think
Jeff.
there's any truth to that? It could be scary, but I don't know.
It's a lot of truth to it, and one of the few times I've seen it expressed in that very cogent manner. And as far as the bitch-ass situation is concerned, I've been called a bitch by a woman once, and it scared the hell out of me. I'm like, wait a minute, this is role reversal shit, or what the hell is going on? Because I didn't know I had no bitch in me, right? Maybe until right now.
Maybe it was the gun she was pointing at you.
Wow. So listen, guys, we have a special guest that's going to join us via Skype. Listen, she knows her stuff. Her name is Merdith Fuller. She is a psychologist and an author with over 30 years experience working with individuals and organizations. She specializes in career counseling and is regularly on radio, TV, and has columns in magazines and blogs for Psychology Today. Welcome, Merdith Fuller. Talk to us about the epidemic of bitchiness all over the world, men and women included. Talk to me, Merdith.
We've got the celebrity syndrome that's made narcissists and narcissistic bitches, male and female, the winners. And what happens is we've ended up making a parody of being good and decent. They've become invisible. So what we're learning is if you want to be interesting, be a bitch. If you want to be pale and ignored, be good. And this is causing big problems.
Now, Merdith is Skyping in all the way from down under Australia. Is there a bitch epidemic in Australia, too? It's not just America? Because I don't think anybody's more narcissistic than Americans.
Put that bitch in the Barbie.
Right, put that bitch on the Barbie. Talk to us, Merdith, about... Everywhere. And you've got the males are now carrying the empathy and the care and concern, and the females are realising that the narcissism is the only way to go. So we've got a real issue because dysfunctional organisations and dysfunctional relationships are causing absolute havoc, and all the decent people are absolutely getting sick, leaving their jobs, getting trampled on. Wow. So let me ask you this. If someone wanted to connect with you personally, do you have a website or a blog or something that they can read and connect with you with? What is that? So my website's www.meredithfuller.com.au. And yes, I've got some websites on Psychology Today, USA Psychology Today, and it's called Working with Bitches, Careers Counseling for the Disappointed. How about it? Now, let me ask you this about personal relationships. Do you think the bitchy attitude that, is exhibited both through men and women, do you think it can contaminate relationships? And if so, give me 2 examples of how that bitchy attitude breaks down the intimacy in personal relationships. Go deeper. One of the issues for a narcissistic bitch is she's driven by fear. So for her, she is avoiding commitment. She's avoiding connection. And so we've got a lot of a syndrome, for example, of sexless relationships because people just can't connect in any sort of intimate way, and that's causing the division. Wow. Merdith, I want to thank you for Skyping in and giving us that information. Everybody in the world who's listening right now, go support Merdith Fuller. Australia, there's her website. She comes into the Zowa show, chimes in, drops bombs, and then bounces. We appreciate you. We'll catch up with you guys in a minute. We'll be back in 2.2, the Zowa Morning Show. BitchAssNess is on the loose. Holla!
Latoya, I don't appreciate you trying to use my name in a negative way. You tried to act as if I said I didn't like you, and I've never said that. And this has nothing to do with personal. This is strictly business. If you want to say anything, you say I'm real, because that's what I am. And if you don't like it, go in the bathroom and hide. Go and hide. Go and hide. Don't ever try me like that, ever.
I'm right here. You don't have to yell. Nene is nothing but a big bully, I promise you. She has a big mouth.
Why are black women so argumentative? We find any and everything to argue over except something constructive. In fact, we don't consider it a good time unless we've been arguing and fighting with someone over something. We argue in defense of being single mothers. We argue in defense of cursing every other word and being whores because the men do it too. And we argue against accountability for our own actions. And we hide behind God and Jesus to do that with. Only God can judge me. They define themselves by conflict and not by who they're building with. You'll find one or a whole generation of Black females fighting and holding grudges in any Black family in America. There's a TV show I watched called Boardwalk Empire, and on the show in, I believe, season 3, there is this ultra-violent gangster named Gyp Rossetti, and it's said that he's so mean that he can find the insult in a bouquet of roses. That pretty well describes the average Black female today. And the sad part is we're proud of this. We're proud to be loud and argumentative and rude and turn around and call that foolishness a strength. And then when nobody wants to argue with us anymore, we'll yell, "You can't handle a strong Black woman." This isn't just a cultural quirk. This illustrates a fundamental difference between the way Black women handle conflict and the way the rest of the world does. I know what someone's going to say, "You're tearing Black women down. Now, what's your solutions?" The solution is be quiet. The solution is close your mouth. The solution is stop arguing, stop fighting, let go of your anger, and be quiet. If you spent less time talking and actually listening to what the men are saying, you'd peep game. Because they're not telling you what they exactly want you to do, but they're telling you what they'd expect from you as a woman. And you're too busy being a hate monger and a brat to absorb it. Black men in general are tired of us. This argumentative thing you've got going, which, by the way, you don't pull with white men, is pushing Black men away from you, and it's not getting you anywhere. This is one of the reasons we got a race full of baby mamas, and 50% of Black women have herpes and no husband.
Black women have a lot to deal with. You know, being a minority, we are a double minority. Not only are we women, we are Black women. You know, so we experience racism and sexism, while Black men only experience racism, you know, and white women only experience sexism. We experience, you know, like both ends of the spectrum. So it's kind of like we, even back from slavery days, we have this hard exterior because society, we deal with a lot from society. So a lot of us are very hard. We're, like Lauryn Hill said, don't be a hard rock when you're a gem. That's what a lot of us Black women are.
Wow. So we heard an accountable sister, and then we heard a sister using...
we heard that in the reverse.
Yeah. So, again, if you're just tuning into today's show...
Hey, man, cancel the rest of this show and replay that first lady for the next 45 minutes.
Let me set this up, guys. Today, if you're just tuning in to the Zoe What Morning Show at TradioV, that's Radio and TV, we're talking about bitch-assness in men, attitudinal, weak, complaining, non-accountable men, and BitchCraft in women. Same for women. Bitchy attitudes. That's what we're talking about today. Bobby, what were you saying?
I was saying we ought to just stop the show right now and put that on a what do y'all call it in TV land? A loop. Yeah, loop that for the next hour and 15 minutes.
And I think it's a great point. Let me ask the doc a question. Is the boss bitch persona the woman's answer to the men's bad boy persona? Bad boys get as much pussy as they want.
Oh my God!
And women just love bad boys, right? We get, we get carte blanche.
What's your name is?
Do you think the bad bitch also gets carte blanche in that way?
Well, I don't think I get carte blanche, but part of the appeal is we have become an adrenaline junkie society, meaning we like an adrenaline rush, and what creates an adrenaline rush is fear or excitement, and there's a bonding hormone which is really becoming a second, third class hormone called oxytocin. That's what goes on when you actually bond and you feel close to someone, and that's losing out to adrenaline, because adrenaline makes you feel powerful, and that's why one of the reasons we're attracted to bullies and bitches is because if you can find the love inside a bully or bitch, it's so precious because it's so rare. Whereas if you're with a nice person who gives you love all the time, it feels like mush mouth. I mean, you don't really value it because it just feels like oatmeal. It's just blah. Whereas there's something about, oh, boy, if I can just get that relief, I just get that approval from the person who's just complaining to me, oh, that feels heavenly. And it's because I think we're all charged up to really be run by adrenaline instead of what we need to be a human society. Okay?
Wow.
I got a question for Doc. I'm hearing this phrase bullying more pervasively nowadays, and my question to you is, how did that become a phenomenon for grown folks? I mean, there was a thing when we was kids that there was a bully in the neighborhood, but now I'm hearing grown people talk about being bullied. What's the connection between then and how we use that phrase and how it's being used today by grown folks?
Well, I think what's happening is if
you me cry.
No, if you look on the news, what do they say? If it bleeds, it reads. Wow. Yeah. And so the point is, you look in the news. What grabs our attention, even these shows, is bullying. And what it seems to imply is that if you're not bullying, you're being ignored. And so that seems to be the thing. If you want to get noticed and not ignored, bully someone.
But I think what you're saying is, our culture is an incubator for BitchAssNess and BitchCraft, and I think the majority of us use that methodology to interface with one another. I think the majority of us do that. You said something very interesting when you said the person who's trying to connect with the love in the bitchy person, right? To me, that's the fixer-upper, right? Mm-hmm. I can see it in you, and there's something about you, and I want to connect with that.
I see the wounded child.
Yeah.
See, a lot of times, I mean, this is, and kick me to the curb because this is going to be boring.
Wow, slang and everything.
This is going to be boring even to me.
Jesus.
I'm about to bore myself to tears in 5, 4.
No, a lot of times what happens in our adult relationships is we replay where we felt powerless in our childhoods. And so what happens is if we felt powerless in getting through to a mother or father, getting them to play nice in the sandbox together, we say to ourselves, when I grow up, I'm going to fix this. And the problem is we get attracted to people exactly like that bullying mother or father, and it ends up exactly the same way. But by fixing them, we're trying to fix something in ourselves
White
so that
Knight.
we can go on.
Yeah, White Knight.
Another question for the Doc. It's referenced by a phrase my uncle threw at me when I was a kid. He said, when your shoes are too tight and you can't pull up on the lace, you ain't got to tell nobody because it's going to show on your face. And I've been checking out your body language today, and it's like, you bring a little attitude today. What's that all about?
Bobby, what we doing? Bobby, you interviewing the doc? You were supposed to be giving me answers, Bobby.
Yeah, sound like you bullying the doc.
I ain't bullying the doc.
You bullying the doc?
Doc got some swag today.
Let the doc have his swag, Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby trying to co-host right now.
I think the
Bobby got to be answering questions.
The doc put it on Mrs. G last night.
Back in my lane.
Damn,
He put it on Miss G. He was like, move your hand. Move your hand.
Hey, somebody from Twitter, Fam, I don't know how to pronounce this, Yagosi says, do men pay a higher price for telling a bitch no versus women telling a man no? That's an interesting question.
I don't quite understand the question.
I think it's interesting. Like, for instance, if a woman is demanding, right, and demanding of a man, and then he finally stands up and goes, nah, I ain't doing that. Does he pay a high, especially if he's in an intimate relationship, does he pay a tougher price because she gonna hold it against him and use it against him at some point, yes?
We'll answer that on the break, after the break. When we come back, bitches that say no, and the men who sit down when they do it.
This is some of everything that we have done, or that we do daily, that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that, being my own person and I'm independent, would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. Yeah, we have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. You know, over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. You know them women that had men if they got a bunch of children. They need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down, instead of building it up. Education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black female emotionalism. They become bitchy. They're doubtful. They're indecisive. They can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from? They haven't been our boss. That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. We don't have any business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between black men and black women because then everybody started going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer. They keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good and that he is not deserving of respect. He is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them.
Wow,
I got one of the last.
Listen, and I had to play that entire video because I believe that's when BitchAssNess in men was born.
Wow.
And like I said before,
the next Zoe William book.
If a man is off his center and exhibits BitchAssNess, that's going to create the environment for BitchCraft because she has no respect. She has no respect, right?
Right.
And then you have to remember, in our culture, mama means everything. Even if mama is terribly flawed. Even if mama is a bitch. So now the generational curse is the philosophy of BitchCraft, passing down as a family heirloom. You see, the way of bitchiness. I'm just saying, especially when that equilibrium isn't in the household. I had a sister on Instagram tweeted us and said she's perplexed why color always comes into play with these topics, and it's always us sisters that are defending ourselves. Well, here's the thing. Jeff, you want to say?
Yeah.
Jeff, go ahead.
Me complaining or complimenting or even commenting on what white people do is like me standing in my front yard telling you your grass is too high while my house is on fire. I don't care what white people do. I love you, but I don't care. My people are in trouble. And yes, you, sister, your people are in trouble. Your boats are sinking. Your people are drowning. Your houses are burning. To hell with. No, that's not how I feel. Fuck what other people are doing. We're talking about you.
I have an ignorant white question.
Of course.
Which is usual. It's commonplace
It's
for
the
you.
only questions I know how to ask. But the ignorant white question is, when I think of the black community, the word mama seems really powerful.
And daddy don't mean shit. The word daddy don't mean
even
too
the word
much.
daddy it doesn't even seem like it's on the same playing field. I mean, now
Dad's a second-class parent in African-American families.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but as an outsider, the word my mama, but daddy, it's almost, it is like second or third class. It's not
Not in my house, but yeah.
You think that's true? You think that's true?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
My homeboy has a daughter. I'm not going to put his whole story out there, but the mother of their child was burned repeatedly when she was a child with cigarettes.
Wow.
By the mama, because mama was upset that daddy didn't stay with her. Now, daddy has always been with his daughter and always been a great father, and wound up getting custody of her because this woman is putting cigarette butts out on their daughter because she's mad that she doesn't, get to stay with dude. But this girl loves that mama to death. That mama cannot do any wrong.
Like precious mama.
Yeah. This woman would live in a house that's roach infested, which caused her cancer. This woman has beat cancer 3 times.
Roaches cause cancer?
Dude, there's just the dirty filth and squalor of the place. This girl left her own apartment and moved in there to take care of mama.
Wow.
So understand, mom in the African-American
Seeking
community
that love.
is beyond reproach. You understand? Listen, we've got a guest on the line right now. Tessina is her name. Tina B. Tessina, Ph.D., is a licensed psychotherapist in Southern California, been that way since 1978, with over 35 years of experience in counseling individuals and couples, and the author of over 13 books in 17 different languages. In other words, she knows her stuff. She's one of Goulston's
homies.
Hey, Tina.
No. She's Goulston's superior.
That's a great hip hop name, Tina
Dr.
Tessina.
Tina.
Yeah.
Speak to us about the evil that is BitchCraft.
Well, I just think that most of the evil comes back to the person who's doing it.
That was a wonderful
nastiness
political answer.
doesn't get you much good. It gets you some attention in the beginning, but people get tired of it pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, niceness and caring and working with people gets you a lot farther in life.
Does it really? America is the biggest bitch in the world, and they're not nice to people. We're never nice.
Dr. Tina I love your work, Tina, and
thank you.
And I think she's saying that in the long run, bitchiness doesn't work out because it's kind of like bitchy people are high maintenance. They're easy to upset, difficult to please.
Right.
And over time, unless you have a screw loose, why would you want to hang out with someone who's high maintenance?
Right.
And she's right. America is. You're right exactly about America.
It will get you a reality show because it's very entertaining to watch from a distance. But it is not pleasant to be there.
Right.
In the midst of it.
Well, you just said something, Doctor, that's really important for us to discuss in a broad construct, and that is it will get you rewarded in today's society because, and it's done prevail to the extent where it influences the culture, the American culture. So we are producing by the boatload that behavior that if I act badly, I will get rewarded.
Right. And that's
right, and that's not a good thing, but I agree with you entirely that that's what's happening.
Wow.
The common denominator is getting lower and lower and lower.
So Tina,
rising up.
So Tina, let me ask you this. What do you think corporate America's influence is on the development of bitchiness and bitchy attitude in men and women?
Corporate America is making money. And anything that gets eyeballs, gets people's attention, tends to make money. So that whole bitchiness, the violent thing, all of that stuff, the political, everybody hollering at everybody else, that all makes money for corporations.
Right, and I think the testosterone-filled environment of the male-dominated corporate America space has really had an adverse effect on the feminine psyche, because I believe.
Amen.
I honestly believe, because now the research states that women are living around life expectancy the same amount as men, because before they used to live longer than men. But I believe that dual shift that women have to take on, whereas mother, housekeeper, and corporate executive, that's 24-hour gig. They don't have time off. And I believe that that's affecting them, and I think, too, the testosterone levels are rising in women, and I think it's affecting them in such a way that they can't find that peace that they used to have. Not to say women need to be barefoot and at home and pregnant, not to say that, but Bobby disagrees. Bobby, speak to the barefoot woman at home.
It's not about being barefoot or pregnant or submissive. It's just understanding, I think, the physiology, because we are made differently, and it's not going to change. It is caused, I think, more inner conflict when you go against who you were designed to be coming onto this planet, because there's certain
What were women designed to be, Bobby?
Women they produce life in a way that we cannot. I cannot carry a child. I can't do it.
So a woman is defined by her ability to carry a child? Go deeper, Bobby.
Only when it's convenient for her.
I didn't say that.
Only when she needs time off from work.
I'm just saying that, as the video described earlier, there is the possibility of a woman being very compassionate, very humane, very caring, very nurturing, and still not being considered soft, not to that degree.
But corporate America is killed or be killed, eat or get eaten. And now, think of it in these terms. African-American women, #1 gender enrolled in college, #1 race enrolled in college. And what is education, higher education for in America? It's for the integration or the assimilation into an economic infrastructure.
Well,
so there's pressure inbuilt right there.
That's all well and good, but as Sister Harazad or whatever her name is.
Shahrazad.
Well, whatever. Great sister, and her point is 60% of our women are by themselves and unhappy.
Because of that pursuit. Listen.
No, the outcome of
Let
the
me
pursuit.
put in 2 cents
not because
here.
of the
I
pursuit.
just recently read some research where the scientists are showing that the cuddling hormones, oxytocin, the endorphins, actually physically heal the heart muscle.
Wow.
This is one reason why women live longer than men traditionally, because they're more emotionally focused. We run on endorphins and oxytocin. You guys run on adrenaline and
testosterone,
and because we're focused on connection and we make connections and we hug a lot and all that, our hearts are constantly being healed. Now, women who get into high stress situations don't do that. So then their life expectancy starts to go down.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Man, that's amazing. Thank you, Tina. Hold on. We're about to take a quick break. We're coming back to the next level. Oh!
Yeah, pass on some of that Oxycontin or whatever it is y'all got.
has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his... All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they're going to help somebody move. Resist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do is start policing your own. Let me tell you how good God is. I had no damn idea what my rent was going to be today. I got a bunch of stuff in the gun. And then, about 4.5 minutes ago,
show you how prepared he is.
In walks Melodious Fly.
Yummy.
Oh my Lord.
Yummification.
Okay, let's put it aside. Let's put to the left. My obvious, incredible, flaming heterosexuality. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get out of the way my absolute love for dark-skinned sisters. I'm gonna get all that out the way. Let's deal purely with the power of the woman as it pertains to today's topic and how it is being misused. Melodious Fly, whether she meant to, probably because she didn't mean to, or not, came in this room and everybody's mood got better. Why? Because besides being not hard at all to look at, positive, warm female energy she brought into this room.
Changes the world.
Changed the whole... Everybody felt better. Damn it, and she smelled good. It smelled better in here. It smelled good, and I'm in a better mood. Women have that power, and you are abusing it. You're abusing it with your man, with your kids. You got this shit on television where it's being abused. The show Scandal. It's only called Scandal because baked chicken, fried chicken ain't no chicken like side chicken. It's too damn long.
Damn.
Ladies, understand that you control it. The man is a runaway freight train. Society is a runaway freight train. Stop trying to get on the tracks with your hand like Superman and use your power to lay the tracks where you want the train to go. Jeff Brown.
Wow. Jeff Brown.
Thank you.
We love it, man. We love the intellectual rant. We want to welcome Jasmine Melodiously Fly to the building.
Hello.
Yo, really quickly, Jay. Yes. I want you to tell people where they can get your music, because she's an incredible musician, singer, songwriter, producer. Where did they get your music right now?
Well, I have an album available, an acoustic EP. That's some music playing right now. It's on my Bandcamp page, which is melodiousfly.bandcamp. You can get this song. Well, this is actually the theme song, but there's other songs that I've written. I have an acoustic album called Love Kills the Demon. Cop it.
Wow. Love kills the demon. No. That's not the form.
Can she sing the song? She can't sing a thing with us?
No. We have something planned for that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come in and sing for you guys live one day.
She's going to bring her guitar.
Bring the lights
down. She doesn't have her guitar. She's going to bring the lights down. Hey, Bobby and Dr. G. Don't turn her into a siren just yet. We have a topic to finish.
Edie Amin up in here, boy.
Exactly. Tina Tessina, this is what we need from you. We need everyone within the sound of our voice to go support what you do. What's your website? How can people connect with you if they so desire to seek your information? How do they connect?
It's pretty straightforward. It's tinatessina.com.
That's it. That's how you get with her, tinatessina.com.
Everything's there. You can connect with my Facebook page and like me on Facebook. You can read my articles for free. You can browse my books for free. You can connect with my blog.
And what's
you can sign up for my newsletter, everything on that one website.
And what's a preferred book we should get that deals with bitchiness?
I would say the 10 smartest decisions a woman can make after 40 or the 10 smartest decisions a woman can make before 40, depending on where you are in the chronology of it all.
Wow. That
wanna
was
get
a
that.
bomb. Can you that was a bomb right there. I'm telling you. That was
You
a
do
bomb.
something with your name,
title
Tina.
alone.
That's a
tight.
fantastic hip-hop name you got.
So let me say this,
Tessina.
Tina. We want to
Yes.
thank you for calling in. We appreciate all your knowledge and your information. Thank you so much, and we have to move on really quickly. But you will be a part of the
Thank you for
Zoet
inviting
family.
me. I've had a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
TinaTessina.com. Okay, so with that said, we've got to go on with this conversation. We've got Melodiously Fly in the building, Jay in the building, Jasmine, and we also have Veronica Conway on the line. Now, Veronica Conway created blackmastery.com. I keep telling y'all, go get Black Mastery, the NLP program. Go get it right now at blackmastery.com. Veronica Conway is on the line, and we have two strong women here right now. They've got to help us understand the nature of the bitch. What's really interesting about this is, I know you two sisters are familiar with Queen Afua, right?
Yes.
Queen Afua created something called Purge the Bitch. And she talks about how the bitchy attitudinal nature actually contaminates a woman's womb and prevents it from healing itself. I need somebody to speak on the bitch and the sick vagina. Speak on it now.
It's good to hang with you. You know, she's right about that and about the contamination of toxicity in a woman's womb that comes from the negative energy that she's carrying in her consciousness. But I want to back up just a bit, because if we want to talk about the overall phenomena of this, we have to understand, I'm just going to give this to you short and brief, the nature of polarity between the sexes. The man is the electrical charge, the woman is the magnetic charge. The man's strength is in his penis, and the woman's strength is in her heart. It's the essence of yin and yang, and when you look at the yin and yang symbol, that's what that is representing, is that circuit of energy that flows between them. The polarities are becoming reversed on the planet. It's like happening planetary-wise. The polarities between the masculine and feminine are becoming reversed. And so what's happening, and this is happening by a lot of reasons. It's in the food supply. The professor at Berkeley that found out that the pesticides that they put in foods are turning male frogs female.
Yes.
And that's going on 30% of corn. So so that's happening in the food supply. It's happening in the environment. And so when you have that reversal, see, both people cannot occupy the same pillow. One has to occupy the masculine, one has to occupy the feminine. And because our community has been under assault, our black man has been under assault by the dominant culture, he has sort of abdicated his role in the masculine. Many of our real alpha men are in prison.
Wow! Speak to that. Wait a minute, Veronica.
Somebody has to occupy that posture in our community. Because,
Veronica, can you hear me?
Slow down.
Veronica. We trying to connect with you, Veronica. Wait a minute. You can't just say that and move on. Many of the alpha males in the black community are in prison. You got to speak more. You have to speak more to that. Come on. You got to say more about that. Come on.
Seen it.
Yeah, well, my daddy's a Black Panther. My daddy's been in prison for 40 years, and he has directly witnessed the institutional imprisonment of our alpha males, meaning men that carry a lot of power, a lot of testosterone. They carry firepower in their genitals. They can't, we get it. It gets categorized as like bad behavior, acting out. And I'm not co-signing criminal behavior. What I'm saying is that natural organic energy that exists in the black, much of that has been caged. And so between that caged, it's been encaged, it's been imprisoned. So if you combine that with what's happening in the food supply, that's turning the masculine into feminine,
I ain't eating it because
then you have an environment in which masculinity is under assault. So if masculinity is under assault in our culture, someone has to step into that role. And that's what the woman is doing, but it's toxic to her womb. It's toxic to her body. It's toxic to her way of operating. It's toxic to her attitude.
Wow. So let me do this. Jay, I know you're listening to Veronica. Veronica drops bombs, but just in a simplistic way. How can, like, you elicited a particular response from Jeff when you walked in. How often do you see other sisters do that, where it's a positive response based off of just your presence and your overall grace and niceness? Why do you feel that some women just decide to be bitches?
Because they've been hurt.
Go deeper into that, please.
You know, they've been hurt. And who knows how long and how deep it goes. It could have started with their father at home, or maybe he wasn't there. So what happens is you develop kind of this mistrust. And if you're not constantly dealing with your pain, you know, you end up kind of projecting it onto other men. Like every man soon becomes whoever it was in your past that hurt you.
Lord, she
I know
smell
intimately because I deal with it too. I'm
Well,
constantly.
Could mom have hurt her too?
Oh, exactly.
And also, what you're saying is very relevant. Unresolved pain.
Right.
But what about female entitlement? How does that also contribute to the rise of bitchiness?
Can I speak to that?
Yes, you can. Somebody better answer this shit.
I've spoken to this before. So again, if the woman's positive polarity is her heart, which is love, and she has had so much negativity deposited into her from unconscious men, from a culture that encourages a masculine posture, from the beauty industrial complex, from the television industrial complex. If she's had all this negative, and from men that have hurt her, if she has all that deposited into her, then what happens is she's developed an energetically, like a lead case around her heart. So rather than understand deeply that she is love, she starts to manipulate to get it.
Iron woman?
She begins to manipulate. She manipulates to get love. And so that entitlement is really fear that she can't have what she wants, that she has to assume and assert and dominate to get what she wants, because she can't trust that she'll just receive it out of her femininity.
Wow. So listen, we got to take a quick break, but before we go, think on this. My brother Corey Holcomb has just joined the conversation, and he asked a question that we're going to get to when we come back. And he asked, can't women just be born bitches? Two bitches? We'll be back in 2.2 seconds. Holla at you. So what morning?
Crocodiles is born.
My wife is driving me crazy with her constant nagging. I miss the women that I fell in love with. What can I do? Well, nagging is something that shows that there's a disconnect between your core values and her core values. There's something that's just not working. The constant nagging is just going to wear down your marriage. So you have to make a change. We tend, when we marry each other, we tend to marry our fantasy of how the other person should be. And then as reality goes on, we try and chisel them back into that fantasy. And so, but the chiseling drives the other person crazy. And so it's about living, first of all, understanding that you can only change yourself. And at the best, you can only become a calm mirror for the other person to see themselves with. So don't get in the anger dance with that person as much as you can. It's about accepting that person just exactly the way they are, with no expectations.
Wow, the lady said, you know, folks be in relationship with their fantasies. Do you think, and I always say to women, don't date your ideas unless you've challenged them and proven them to be bedrock truth to you. Most people inherit fantasies from broken mamas and daddies, right? And the relationships that they enter into is a mechanism by which they work through that, you know, that broken reality, right? Don't date an idea or a fantasy unless it's challenged. Before we went to break...
Can I say something about what Jasmine said?
Sure. You want to say it quickly? You did hear me say what we was coming back to, but I understand. This is white entitlement. I see it. Go ahead, Doc.
Now, she said something about. No. Here's a question, but a following her. She said a lot of these bitchy people are, were hurt. Do you think what's happening is that when you're someone who keeps caring about people and you keep getting hurt, your solution is, well, I'll just stop caring, whereas the solution is you need to choose better the people you care about.
Wow. I think that's hard, Doc, because I believe you get what you are. I don't think you can choose better than what you are.
I don't know about that.
I don't think you can choose better than what you are. You magnetize what you are.
But a lot of times,
relationship is a
get
mirror.
what you need.
No, but a lot of times you get attracted.
Sometimes it's not necessarily what you are, but
That's
you
the
may
same
get
thing.
what you need.
That's the same thing.
What you need and what you are, not necessarily.
No, hey, but they're related. They're compatible. You cannot get what you need if it isn't in alignment with who you are.
No, here's our problem. We spend too much time getting attracted to what we want. We don't get attracted to what we need.
You get what you deserve.
How about
and
it?
We also lead with our wounds.
Ooh.
In other words, we lead with our wounds, and so our wounds attracts other wounded people as though a mirror.
That's what I'm saying. You can't be wounded and attract a healthy person.
I don't know. I think you get what you.
Well, listen, Corey Holcomb's in the building, and we wanted to get to that question. Everybody just took off on a tangent. Damn it! Follow the rules. They can't be. Corey wants to know: can't women just be born bitches? Let's deal with that, Corey. What do you think?
I just want to say this real quick about what you need. You can't get what you need if you live in a society like this because they make sure you don't know what you need. But as far as it goes with the way people act, it's not always what they've been through. I honestly believe people are born bitches, not just women. I'm talking about men who conduct themselves like bitches. They born that way. And I was telling the people, telling everybody during the break about my little niece who I always play with. I come over, she always be happy to see me. Her eyes be lit up because, I take her, go get her some ice cream or whatever. But one day I came over with my lady, and she rolled her eyes at both of us the whole time I was over there. And I was like, oh, this is a little bitch. It's still my niece, but that's a little, ain't nobody taught her that. She was born that way.
Great point. Veronica, you wanted to finish your thought? 30 seconds or less.
I guess if you can look at a newborn child, male or female, and really honestly say that little person is a bitch, if you can honestly look at a baby and say that person is a bitch, after they just got here, removed from any environment that they've been exposed to, then I guess you could say that.
Well, Veronica, can you say the little girl is modeling a bitch? Just like we saw that video of that little kid. You guys remember that video of that kid, the little boy? He had the bottle. He didn't have on his shirt. He was sagging, and he was yelling at his mama. He was going crazy. I think he's modeling something. So maybe we can't say they're born that way.
Absolutely, because we're the only culture on the planet that refer to our women as bitches.
Are we?
We're the only culture that does that.
That's impossible.
Maybe at least the only ones on a grand public scale.
Refer to women as bitches.
Well, okay, I would say this. A lot of people get offended when a man says the word bitch, and there's a reason you get offended. Now, if you're going to be honest about why you're offended, that's one thing, but if somebody says the word like a derogatory term and they're not talking to me, I don't necessarily feel like, oh, that person is talking about me. Yeah. But when people feel like they're talking about you, even though they're not speaking to you about that, it's a reason you feel that way.
And Veronica, let me say this.
Yeah, no, but I'm not having a personal response to it. I'm talking about a phenomenon that exists in our culture.
I think it was a personal response, to be honest.
I'm going to try to give some.
And I didn't call a newborn a bitch.
Okay.
I called her, she was like about 2 years old. So about 2 years old, I can tell if they're a little bitch or if they're going to be gay or is this
But what's the difference between like? But how do we use the term like? Bitch is becoming like a blanket term.
Okay, well let me help you. Let me help you. Let me put some legs.
It's a lot of bitches out there.
Thank you.
But you can't use bitch like to blanket every emotion. Like perhaps the baby was experiencing jealousy because she's attached to you, and so she sees you coming in with another woman, and it's a natural, maybe carnal response. That's fleeting.
That's the behavior
because a child doesn't hold on to anything. I'm sure the next time you go over there, she's gonna be smiling and laughing and glowing, just like always.
Because I'm doing what she wants.
Because she loves you.
Because
she loves you.
You have to teach the little girls, especially, that when I don't do what you want, you cannot act like a bitch.
Into the definitions that we assign them.
What if
in other words, what if in our language we are actually causing the next generation of people to come up under the words that we use to describe them?
I think that's
Might we use our language differently?
Is that rhetorical? I'd like to answer that. Because I think that is fantastic that our children come up under the labels that we give for them, because I give my children the label of prince and princess. And when they act outside of those labels, I let them know. The only reason that I use the word bitch is because cantankerous, evil, vindictive, backbiting, conniving ass female is a little too long to say every time I mean it.
That's real.
So let me ask this question to everyone. Do you think BitchAssNess and BitchCraft are cyclical in their creation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man feeds woman, woman feeds man, right?
And they feed each other, right. Because the polarities are reversed. So the more BitchAssNess you get, the more BitchCraft you get, and the more masculine BitchCraft you get.
Exactly, it's like a cyclone.
It's a negative cycle.
Well, here's what needs to happen. I think especially with the ratio of black men to black women, it's 8 to 1, something like that. I think there are a bunch of shitty people out there, and we need to let the shitty people be with the other shitty people.
And I think that people get upset when, especially a black dude, speaks blunt and honestly about the behavior of somebody. Even if you don't say bitch, if you just speak blunt and honestly, people get mad at you. Because they're trained to get mad at you. But she was acting like a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show is off the rails. BitchAssNess in men versus the coven of BitchCraft in women. Who's more organized in their bitchiness? Men or women? Queen Afua told me my ex-girlfriend and her people had a coven of evil intentions for me. Wow, a coven of bitches praying against my downfall. Listen, when we come back, 855-878-4652, we'll be back. Deuces.
Wow.
We saw all types of examples of BitchCraft and BitchAssNess. Dr. G, I know this is foreign to your Shire-like community.
What that do to all your advice, Doc? You know how you be talking about this is how you need to talk to your woman, and when she did, what that do to all that?
Doc, ask people what happened.
Right.
So, Doc, explain to us.
These women we dealing with, Doc. You go,
No, I was just trying to think, is there a difference between you're acting like a bitch or a bitch ass when you're just getting stuff off your chest because you're so frustrated, or when you're doing it to try to control other people? And to throw something else that I didn't mention, what's the difference between acting like a bitch and acting like the C word?
A cunt?
Oh, that don't mean nothing. In the English,
is there a difference?
In the ghetto, in the ghetto, cunt just
difference?
sound like the way English people say can't. We don't say that.
It's like they're using the same way?
We don't use it.
Well, in our community, it's a level up.
So listen.
Oh, yeah.
So listen. Wow. We have another guest on right now. She's a national best-selling author, Joy Deja King, also known as the literary sweetheart. Her career began in 2006 with the release of Dirty Little Secrets. Listen, she has another book it's a novel called Queen Bitch. It's the #1 Essence bestseller for 7 months. She's on the line right now. Deja, Joy Deja King, talk to us about the phenomenon of bitchdom that's running amok in our society and community right now.
Hey, Joy.
Hi.
How you doing, girl?
Well,
First of all, I want to say that you can be a good bitch and a bad bitch. I mean, because
Tell
you were
us the
saying
difference.
about a cunt, and I was saying like, you know, like if you see a woman and she has everything together, you're like, she's a bad bitch, and that's a good bitch. And then you can have another type of bitch who's just angry and bitter, and you know, is just super negative, and you're like, she is just such a bitch. So you can have two forms of a bitch.
Okay, Joy.
What?
Arbitrarily.
Can you stand up? Fuck the bush.
He is standing up.
Corey Holcomb said, "Can you stand up?"
He said, "Good bitch or bad bitch." He wants to see if you got a shirt on.
Oh no, I do have a shirt on.
Because all we can see is your tan line, and we just thinking that bitch got some pretty titties. I bet you. That's what we thinking.
Damn, Jeff.
That's
so ask your question.
Here's
Jeff.
my question. Here's my question. Do we get to use bitch the way Too Short does in his song Bitch that drives y'all bananas?
Wait, that all good and bad bitches celebrate and dance to.
And the usher board goes bananas. I mean, everybody loves that song. Do we get to use that word? Do we get the benefit of the doubt that maybe we mean the good bitch or what?
Well, no. Personally, like when I came up with my book, Bitch, I used it because I wanted to show female empowerment, because I wanted to kind of take it back from men who use it in a derogatory way. You know, so as a woman, I don't think that women should answer to that form of bitch. But, I mean, I think that sometimes, like, you might hear Jay-Z when he refers to Beyonce as his bitch. And a lot of people are like, oh, my God, he called her a bitch. But he doesn't mean it in, like, a derogatory way. He's just like,
it
that's my
seems
bitch.
like you're justifying a gray area.
I mean, it's
because
just like
women,
a nigger.
Women
It's just
also
like with the
call
N-word.
each other bitches, too.
It's the same thing. It's the same argument as I'm going to flip the N-word. I'm
No, it's
taking
not.
it. It's my
No,
own.
it's not.
To me, it is.
Well, it is. I can agree
I
with that
disagree
angle.
with that
But what I
totally.
don't agree with is the hypocrisy of it. We get to call each other bitches, but we get mad when our men call us bitches. Speak to that, Corey.
This is what it really is. Women want the world to be what they want it to be. And if it's not what they want it to be, you're going to feel their wrath. So the way you say bitch, the way you wash your ass, everything, it has to be done in a way that they approve of. Okay. You got to say the word bitch in a way that sound good to them.
Okay,
That's crazy.
Let me explain why bitch and nigga are totally different. Okay,
No.
First
To
off,
Jeff.
yes,
They're
to me,
not really.
to me, in my
'Cause I had
opinion,
to check the
And do it in 30 seconds, Jeff.
Okay.
God damn it.
Okay. You're excluded, Doc.
20 seconds.
These my niggas right here. These my niggas right here.
Right,
my
right.
wife can call me and go, nigga, turn on channel 4, quick, Zoe's on. There is no time when I can go to my wife, bitch, I want a sandwich. You know I love you. There is no ever a time that bitch can come out of my mouth.
Corey, how do you get used to it? Wait, Corey,
Only because you're not a woman. Because you're not a woman.
How do you get her used to being called a bitch? Listen, everyone listen here. Corey has a foolproof way.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if your girl really love you, she ain't got no business breaking up with you because bitch is part of your vocabulary. Now, I don't always say bitch when I'm mad. You got to say bitch when you buy her shit. I got my bitch, so you know what I mean. That's the best way to break them
I've
in.
been called a bitch before in arguments.
So
with
when
my
you
man.
call him a bitch, when you mad, they'll be like, "Oh, that's just how he talk."
What about
you
doing
just break
sex?
them in with bitch with kindness.
Never do
That's
sex,
playing
though.
with dynamite. I have a question for Jada real quick.
Really?
Yes, really quickly,
I should
Bobby.
try it.
Queen bitch. Is that kind of oxymoronic?
How is it?
You said Jada?
Yeah, Joy. He's speaking to
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know who you... Okay, no, I'm sorry. What's your question again?
You say the book is entitled Queen Bitch.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of oxymoronic, or at least contradictory at least?
Why?
Queen and bitch, they just don't go together for me.
They don't go together to you, but to me,
Or to
my
Jill
husband,
Scott.
We like Queen Bitch. Like in that book, Precious is that Queen Bitch. I mean, so no, it goes together great.
Well,
I didn't see the movie.
technically, I understand the connotation that she's using for the word queen, meaning, you know, the
Well, a
king's
queen is a
consort,
queen, but a
right?
bitch is a bitch to
royalty.
me. They
But
don't go
if you
together.
look up, hold on. If you look up queen from the etymological root,
But some of them
Get
say
at
that-
it, Zoe.
Right. Oh,
it means whore. Means whore.
Well, I didn't know that till now. I always thought a queen was the finest of the fine, and a bitch was a bitch.
Yeah. But don't men, I mean, if you listen to mainstream rap right now, that's all you hear is like, I need a bad bitch and a bad bitch. So there's men that are like playing into this bad bitch notion.
They treat them like bitches too.
But that's part of the cyclone.
And they get shocked.
But then they also marry them. They have babies with them.
I'm gonna say this. I think difficult people.
That in the marriage?
Hold on, Bobby.
I take this bitch to be my bitch.
You see, Bobby? Bobby just he's on a tangent right now, but I love it. I got him. But I'll say this. I think BitchAssNess and BitchCraft attract each other. Yeah. I think they attract each other and they build relationships and families with each other because that's who the fuck they are.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask Zoe a question. I'm going to put Zoe on the spot. Zoe, the average woman you meet, tell me am I wrong, ain't she a bitch until proven otherwise? I'm saying when you first meet her.
God damn, you did put me on the spot. No, I'm going to be honest.
We got women in all different stages of...
Listen, I'm going to be honest.
Trust issues.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a difficult motherfucker to deal with. So my bitch Geiger counter is on 10. And I can see her coming like, oh, shit. And a lot of times I won't push the bitch away because I'm in pursuit of more knowledge about me. Like, how can I unravel this shit that I got going on? Like, I know I'm difficult. So when that bitch comes, I don't always push her away, even though that Geiger counter goes off from moment one. Like, this bitch is radioactive, bitch. Yeah. You don't understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't. That was an Obama answer right there.
That wasn't no fucking Obama answer.
Yeah, that was.
Bobby, I'm a nigga who wants to confront his weaknesses. I'm not one that sees the bitch and run away.
No, that's my nephew right there. You see that scowl he brought out there, man? He came out behind.
Shit, I'm like Chattanooga. He's the motherfucker channeling some Chattanooga.
Look, I can tolerate a bitch long as she don't talk that much. If she talk a lot, I'ma just go in for the kill. Like, hey, how much your pussy talk?
Oh my God! Ladies and gentlemen, So What Mornings is off the chart. It's deep, it's intellectual, it's inspirational, spiritual, funny. It's all of that. You can't find it nowhere. TradioV, radio and TV. We'll be right back.
How much your pussy talk?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the So What Morning Show, and as is common practice, I like to wrap up the show. We're talking about BitchAssNess versus BitchCraft. BitchAssNess is for men, BitchCraft is for women, and as I said earlier, I think it thrives and exists on a cycle of negative reciprocity. One creates the other, right? First off, I believe if we, men, got our shit right internally, the woman would automatically align herself to that, right? If we got correct, we would automatically align with each other. So with that said, I'm going to give my tips on signs of bitch-assness in men, and this is for women, right? Number one, if this kind of dude, check him out, if this kind of dude right here, this is how you know this motherfucker is bitch made, right? If he leads by his fears, in other words, his decisions are made by what he's afraid of, right? Because then what he becomes is an architect. He'll build fearful shit around his life, and he'll be trying to protect, and, you know, he won't jump if there's no net, right? He won't jump. Real men are adventurers, and they try to fuck the world in the same manner that they try to fuck their girl, right? They're trying to take the world by its neck. If your man is cautious and scared about everything, that's a bitch. Don't date him. He's bitch made. Number two, if his word is fiat currency.
Wow.
Right? Meaning, right, if he doesn't believe in what he says, right, it's impossible for him to stand behind what he says. So it'll be impossible for the woman to use her manifestation powers to help bring about what he's trying to do. I'm a firm believer in behind every great man, there's a great woman behind that dude believing in him, helping him manifest that shit. So if his word is fiat currency and he can't stand behind it, there's no way she can stand behind him. Number 3, if he's a poor manager of his mind, his emotions, and behaviors. One of my weaknesses is if you cross me, I don't know what the fuck gonna happen. Anything can happen. That's some shit I've been working on for years. Anger, all type of shit, right? So, you know, that's one that I'm still working on. You know, if he's a poor manager of his mind, his emotion, and his behaviors, which means he'll always be subject to the external control of others, right? Number 4, the desire to defer personal accountability, right, of your reality, the one you're currently living in. If this dude is always justifying and making excuses, that's a bitch-ass nigga, period. Bitch-ass man, however you want to say, bitch made, whatever you want to do. Number 5, he allows himself to become the interfering savior. This is a terrible white knight. An interfering savior. What you fail to realize is a man that's always trying to save you from the mistakes you're making is a motherfucker who's interrupting your personal growth. Because I believe that challenge is the conduit to growth. And a lot of times a man will try to, you know, bolster his masculinity by jumping in when you need to fucking scrape your knees, when you need to fall down and fuck up, because there's more value in fucking up than it is in him saving you from the fuck up. So stop dating that nigga because he's bitch made too, right? A lot of times women, that's the fantasy. Prince Charles, what's his name? Prince Charming, not Prince Charles. I got my eye on you. Yeah. Prince Charming comes in and saves you from your shit, which prevents you from growing. That's a fucked up nigga to date. Bitch made. Number 6, he's passive aggressive. He's not direct. God damn it, I don't like what you're doing. And I'm going to tell you why. He's afraid to incur your wrath or your pussy rations. That's a bitch. That's a bitch made man. Don't date him. A lot of times women date him because that's a fixer-upper. I can make him better. No, you can't. He's passive aggressive. He's weak. He's a bitch. Number 7. Number 7, he behaves, speaks, and thinks as if he doesn't deserve you. Insecurity, nigga. I'm happy to have a bad bitch like her. I'm going to keep this facade up as long as I can because I'm surprised it worked on this bitch. Right? That's a bitch made man. Don't date him. These are tips and signs that are real. He uses the internal weakness builder of comparison. He's always comparing himself to Dick before. Dick, bygone Dick, the ghost of Dick's past. He's comparing himself to all the dudes that, oh, why did you pick me? You could have stayed with this nigga. This nigga did that in life. He was an author. Or this nigga 6'3". Or this nigga is that. That's a bitch. Right? Who hasn't reconciled these weaknesses inside himself. But you're dating him, and then you blame him because the relationship is fucked up, which makes you a bitch. BitchCraft, in effect. Now, number 9. Instead of running or keeping company with lions, his circle of hyenas reflect his character to a T. And bitch, if you not looking at his circle of hyenas and thinking he ain't related to them, wow, you are a co-creator of the fucked up reality that you complaining about. I'm Zoe Williams, and those were my final thoughts. Woo! BitchCraft in the building now. Damn.
I bet I got one more you add on.
Well, give me one more then. I ain't fuck with it.
Ladies, if your vaginal history is shameful, but he still got a bunch of conversation that sound good to you, that's a bitch made motherfucker. You need to be remade if your vaginal history is shameful when you were a real man. Bitch, let me show you what you're supposed to do.
Really quickly, Bobby Glanton, where can they find you?
At Glanton-Smith and www.realmendon'tplay.com.
Veronica Conway, they gotta get Black Mastery. Go to blackmastery.com right now.
Yeah, mastery.com, veronicaconway.com, and if you are a wantrepreneur that wants to be an entrepreneur, go to W2EBootcamp.com, W2EBootcamp.com, and we gonna make some money.
There it is. Melodiously Fly, Jasmine.
Yeah. Melodious Fly, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My album is digital download. Thank you.
Get it. Support this girl. Dr. G.
Mark Goulston, markgoulston.com, MarkGoulston.com.
Jeff Breezy.
In 24 hours, Jeff Brown, Wrong Ass Shit, the album, available on iTunes 24 hours from now.
Excellent. Hey, Corey Holcomb in the building. What's up, big bro? Where can they find you?
Hey, thecoreyholcomb.com, and everybody in Memphis, I'm going to be at Chuckles this weekend. The comedy club called Chuckles. Look it up, motherfucker. Don't call me and ask me where it's at.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Zoe Williams. Follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams. Go to Twitter right now, at Zoe Williams. Go right now, Instagram, at Mr. Zoe What. Oh, also join us on YouTube. Our YouTube page is The Zoe What Show. No spaces. Search on YouTube, The Zoe What Show, and join our YouTube page. Again, I can't urge you enough. Support blackmastery.com. Zoe Williams in the building. We'll be back next week with another riveting topic. The Zoe What Morning Show. We out. Deuces.